I'm guessing most of you guys are here because you're tired of the same old advice about titles, thumbnails, and retention. Don't worry, I get tired of the same advice also. So here are 4 things that do not involve any of those things that were actually super helpful for me in my own YouTube journey. Tip number 1 is to focus on your own journey. On YouTube especially, it is so easy to just go and look at every other creator's journey to see where you line up to them. But when you do that and you start feeling like you're falling behind and feeling like these people are ahead of you, you start trying to mimic them or copy them in order to get on that path, but you actually lose yourself in the process. But what we should actually be focusing on is our own personal journey and our own personal growth from video to video, rather than focusing on how fast we're growing or how we're growing compared to everybody else. And do not worry, I've done the exact same thing of looking at other creators and comparing my own journey to them and feeling like maybe I'm falling behind. But it wasn't until I saw a video about Mr. Beast's journey and how long it actually took him to get to the point where he's at right now, and how he wasn't even creating the best videos at first, but somehow, some way, through trusting the process, he got to being one of the biggest channels on the planet right now. But it wasn't until I saw this clip about his mindset for creating videos that I realized why he was so successful.
Every video we improve a bunch of stuff. So it's these 5 things a video we're improving over the last 2 years.
He's not focusing on everybody else's journey. He's just focusing on improving a little bit from video to video, and eventually it got him to where he's at right now. So if it got him to that point, imagine where it could get you if you focus on improving video to video instead of focusing on everybody else's journey. Because you really cannot control who's gonna get the most views. You can't control who's gonna get the most subscribers, who's gonna get lucky and go viral. Sometimes people do just get lucky. That's okay. You can be happy for them and enjoy your own journey on the process. When you focus on your own personal growth, you allow yourself to stay true to who you are, no matter how many views are coming in. Tip number 2 is to use your weaknesses to your advantage. Every single one of us has our weaknesses, and we know we have our weaknesses even if we do not want to admit it. But it's actually better to acknowledge those weaknesses, because then we can find out how we can turn them into our own strength. Somebody who does this great and who I've seen do this great is Kanye West.
That anybody ever said in life would be a disadvantage to me, I'm gonna make it my advantage. When I was playing basketball, everybody said I was too short. I'm killing them with the scoops, you know what I'm saying?
Just like the examples he gave, we need to figure out our own creative ways to turn our weaknesses into strengths. Instead of seeing weaknesses as this terrible thing that is always gonna hold you down, I want you to think about your weakness and then think about how you can use it to uniquely stand out. I mean, just look at Tom Brady. He was not athletic at all when he came into the NFL. He did not have the best body in the world. Nobody thought that he was gonna turn into nothing. He was a late round pick, and he used that to focus on thinking of the game on a different level, because he knew he was not gonna do much with his legs. There's just too many examples out there of people that have turned weaknesses into strengths for us not to do the same. Don't see them as things that are holding you down. See them as challenges that you can overcome. And slowly over time, those weaknesses are going to help you stand out. So identify and use your weaknesses creatively. So tip number 3 is to go all in right now. I know you hear all this stuff about take your time. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't worry about it too much. But the truth is that we do not have that much time here on earth, and we need to make the most of every second that we have. So when I say go all in on YouTube, I don't mean that you have to put in every single hour of the day in, but I mean give everything that you can. When I first started on YouTube, it was not easy for me to just sit down and work as much as I actually wanted to on my videos, because I just was not used to having to sit down and focus for that long. At that point in my journey, going all in was to sit down for maybe even just an hour in order to get me a little bit closer to my end goal. And the thing I've heard that helps me is put your ass where your heart is. So even if you cannot focus, even if it's hard for you to sit down for that long, just put your ass in that seat, and eventually over time, you're going to start doing the work because your heart really wants to do that work. But you do need to do as much as you can, because I realize now, looking back, at 6 to 8 months of dedicated work can take you so much farther, so much faster. If you really want to commit to this and make this a possibility, give all you have right now so that you can figure out if this is actually what you want to do. Then on top of that, if it is, you can actually make it possible. So tip number 4 is to find a way to help people. We cannot just be creating content for our own selfish desires. We have to create content that serves other people. And what I mean by that is just fulfill something that people are wanting to see from your channel. If you're an entertainment channel, you can just entertain these people as best as you can. Give them a reason to put a smile on their face every single time they see one of your videos, and use that as your way to serve people, because if you make people laugh and you give people a reason to enjoy your videos, you're basically healing the world. But then on top of that, it actually helps you grow faster, because people are going to want to come back to your channel over and over again if you can actually serve them well. If you could do that, you do not have to be an amazing creator. You do not have to have a super high production budget. You don't have to create the best videos of all time. If you just focus on serving people, they're going to come back to your channel over and over again. I mean, even when I started this channel, it was my first time doing on-camera content. I didn't really really understand how to make the camera work, what settings I needed, but I knew that I wanted to help people and I knew I had value to give people. All I did was focus on that and focus on helping people a few steps behind me, and ultimately it worked out pretty well. So just take a few moments with yourself, sit down and ask yourself how you can ultimately serve your audience, because ultimately your viewership is tied to how well you serve your audience. And if you want to figure out a little bit more about how you can best serve your audience, find the mission that you have for your channel and find the passion that you have for creating videos, and go ahead and click on this video right here.